Happy Golf Day, and welcome to the second quarter of the 2023 Sandlot Fantasy Football League. With me this week, I've got Hillers. What's up, Hillers?
Hello. Golf
And-
day.
Yeah.
Is that the best we can do?
Well, that's what I found, anyway.
It's not even a weekend. Doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
Well, it doesn't have to be for golf, my friend.
I suppose.
Also have Nick. What's going on, Nick?
Hey guys, spoiler alert. Taylor Swift might show up on my podcast. Might show up at my house today. Might. Just throwing that out there, you guys. So let's get
Oh
those
my.
clicks and views up there. The Taylor Swift might show up.
Is there a place I can write some checks? Can I send some money?
It's the most contrived nonsense I've ever seen in my life. It's so ridiculous. Like,
I'm actually surprised you. Yeah.
the cool one of the coolest things I saw one of the on Twitter was, or Twixer or X or whatever it's called these days,
Wixer.
was when Kelsey scored in the first game and she stood up and she goes, "Let's fucking go!" It was like, I saw a tweet where somebody was like, "This is what every golfer wished the cart girl did when he smashes a drive down the middle of the fairway."
I think one of my favorite things was if they talk about Taylor Swift one more time before they acknowledge that Ryan Reynolds is in the same suites, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, like and they show it right next to him, and it's like Taylor Swift, like right there hanging out with Ryan Reynolds.
Didn't even see
Well,
that.
she's hanging out with Blake Lively, and then she brings Ryan Reynolds with.
Oh, so
Like
whatever.
a him.
It's so ridiculous. Like the third commercial for the Monday Night Football this week was about her movie. It's like, come on, guys, we know what's going on here, right? Like,
I don't think she needs the NFL to sell tickets to that movie. I think
I'm
all
with you,
the.
Hillary.
I
she
think
doesn't
I
need
think
it. She doesn't
all
need
those
anything,
shows
Hillers.
were sold
She's worth
out.
$750 million. She doesn't need anything. But look, I mean, this is a market she is clearly tapping into here for a reason.
I guess I don't know how much is left of the population. That
Exactly. Like who is the NFL trying to promote this to, Merrill?
The NFL's making all the money. It's Taylor.
Because
I don't
who do
get.
you think is unaware of? I mean, first of all, I wasn't aware, but I'm not going to go see the movie anyway, so like that doesn't do anything for me. But who do you think is aware that it has that? Who is that movie geared towards? That people are like, oh, I didn't know Taylor Swift had a movie coming out. I can't wait to go see it. I'm really excited.
It's not
Isn't it-
that. I mean, we talked about it last night, but what it is it makes, and again, I'm not going to go see this thing, but I think what it does is it makes the football dads more willing to take their daughters to see this movie, right? Like, there's clearly a reason they're doing it. There's clearly some market research that shows it works, and as much as we want to say it doesn't work, I think Taylor Swift, if she's proven anything, is that she knows what she's doing and knows how to make some money.
Isn't the movie just her concert?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
From what I understand.
Aren't they just like, hey, we filmed the concert, here it is, but you can see it for the price
Yeah,
of
we'd
the
like to
movie?
sell tickets to people that we weren't able to sell tickets to before, so you can give us money now too.
Yeah, did you not have an opportunity to pay $3,000 to get in live? Well, now you can pay $20 to see it on a screen instead.
So anyway, have we covered the obligatory Taylor Swift football conversation?
I don't know. I feel like I haven't paid anybody anything. Is there a place I should put in my credit card information?
Anyway, so this podcast has been a while. We had our first and second doubleheader actually, so we figured we'd check in, see what's going on in the season. How you doing, guys? Hillers, how you holding up this season?
It's fine. I'll say some regrets, but reasons for hope. Still a fun season. A lot of interesting stuff going on. Some people are really good. Other people, so bad, so very bad.
Yeah.
I'm with you, but
Yeah.
I'm not the only one.
Nick, what are your thoughts? Just kind of high level thoughts the first couple weeks here.
It's a very competitive league. It's a very competitive this year, and I don't know if it's competitive in a good way or competitive in a like. I don't know if it's a race to score 90 points to win. Which is like a thing that could happen, or is it like, people are just beating each other up because of high scores? Like it's just we are all beating each other up, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah. There's I think there's a clear and we'll get into our power rankings. That's going to be on our show this week. But I think there's a clear 2 or 3 teams that are kind of near the bottom. But then it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of anyone's game beyond that at this point, I think.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
I will say it used to be a lot easier to get in a week early on somebody off the waiver wire, or find somebody that had sort of just wasn't paying attention to their lineup. That's not really the case anymore. You kind of got to be on the game all the time.
To that note, Nick, it seems like people have spent a lot more money this year on the waiver wire. Maybe that's just me, but like it seems like a lot more money's gone this year at this point than in previous years.
Funny you should mention that. I actually looked that up exactly.
Did you? What a coincidence!
Did. Imagine that. Where did I put that? Okay, yeah. So this time last year, we had spent 22% of our going into week 5. 22% of the budget had been spent. Some highlights just to walk down memory lane include Curtis Samuel for $38 by Cyborg Tony Romo.
Oof.
I think that actually paid out for him. I think Curtis Samuel kind of like
every
returned.
Penny.
He had a few good weeks. Yeah. I think he had a few good weeks for him.
Jeffrey Wilson for $25 by the Bucks. Didn't pan out too well there towards the end.
The Ducks.
Yeah. Robbie Anderson for 10 for Hillers.
Not his name.
Oh, what is his name now?
His name is Robbie Chosen. No.
Robbie Chosen. That's right. Okay. DJ Shark, Tyler Conklin, Taysom Hill, all at about $10 for everyone. Like that was the threshold that I looked at for big spenders was double digits. I know, very analytical of me, but whatever. So 22% year to date last year. This year we're looking at 29% of our money has been gone. Big spenders include Josh Kelly at 18, Kyron Williams at 37, who seems to have been paid off pretty well.
That one looks real good.
It does.
Also the CTR, by the way. Seems like his 37-38 is where he goes when he really wants to get somebody.
Right. If it's got to happen, it's got to be $38. Remember this next year.
Yeah, and Puka at 30 was the other one. I think...
So that's three $30+ players when there was only one last year. And then there's also another 2 $20+ players when there was only one last year. So like the big spends are a lot more this year too.
Yeah, I think CTR is definitely onto something here. I think that we might start seeing more and more of this is spend your money early on the players because the players that you get early in the week are the ones that pay off in week 1, week 2 are the ones that have generally will have longer, bigger dividends in the back end.
Yeah. Just for reference, check waiver wire now. It's bleak.
It is.
Yeah. It's a wasteland out there. It's terrible. But I think there's a couple of different things that are driving this.
It's like Mad Max out there.
Yeah, it really is. It's like, where's the gasoline? Kill who you need to get it. Because I think people are more aware of just news in general and important backups, and there's so little out there that half the time you go and it's like this person's rostered in 13% of leagues. Well, he's already got a home in our league. He's already someplace in there. And I think people are recognizing that, yeah, in the first week or two, you're going to find out what people missed about the preseason and invest. And some of those will be busts, but it's also, we've had a lot of major injuries and stuff this year too. Obviously for Kyron and Puka, that's not the case. Those guys just sort of blew up contrary to expectation. But there's been a lot of injuries too, and a lot of uncertainty with some people that thought we were going to have be good players at the beginning of the season that really haven't been panning out. And I think that's driving the desperation factor up a little bit too. So it's a combination of owners being more savvy and the circumstances just being a little bit more dire, I think, this year than last.
And I think something else is a lot of times people look at the waiver wire and they'll be like, well, I'm going to pick this person up and try to get some keeper value out of them too, maybe, in case they're great. And it's like, you can't do that the way people are bidding these days. Like, probably not keeping Kyron Williams for $37, probably not keeping Puka Nacua for $30, right? Probably. I mean, again, like, you never know, but like, these are expensive players and they're going to be more expensive with keeper fees added on. So it's like, people are just they're going for it. They're sending it. And that's what you should be doing early in the year.
Yeah, week 1, you're not looking for keepers for next year.
Right. You're trying to set yourself up to win for a title run, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, most teams are. Some teams start selling in week 2, I guess.
Yeah.
Me, I did.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
You're talking about me. Yeah.
Yeah. I know someone who did that.
I see a touchdown ratio random analytics note here, Nick.
Yeah, so this is fun. So
we'll determine that.
Well, I had fun
We'll see
doing it.
how
Actually,
fun
I didn't have fun doing this. I had fun like putting it together, but then I realized how much work it was trying to find all the information, and it wasn't as much fun as I wanted it to be. But it was still whatever.
How much
So-
Taylor Swift is in the statistics?
Oh, there's a lot of Swift analysis here.
Good.
Swift analysis.
It's not 30%.
Hashtag Swift analysis.
So what I look at is I felt like it feels like the NFL just seems to, I don't know. It seemed like scoring was down this year. I don't know why. I just felt like touchdowns seemed like harder to come by this year. And I understand why I thought that here in a minute. But I took a look at how many touchdowns were scored total last year versus touchdowns scored total this year. And surprisingly, there's actually a lot more touchdowns scored this year than last year on the whole. This year, there's 124 passing touchdowns. That should be 100. I guess there's 124 passing/receiving touchdowns and 93 rushing touchdowns compared to 106 passing, and 69 rushing. So touchdown scoring, like there's a whole lot more touchdowns being done this year. And I was wondering, well, why is that? Or not why is that, but what does that distribution look like? Especially when you have a game like the Dolphins putting up 70 points, like, well, that's going to kind of inflate the numbers a lot because there was a lot of points being scored. That's 2-3 games in that one game. So anyway, I just want to do a quick breakdown of this. Fun facts are the takeaways are that Hillers so based on the starters. So I didn't look at all of the NFL. I looked at the rostered players and what that rostered touchdown total is. So whether or not you started
touchdowns that counted, basically, yeah.
The touchdowns that counted, yeah. You didn't have to start the person; they just had to be on your roster.
Or on your bench too. Okay.
You're on your right, yeah. Because then I had to go through each individual lineup, and I was like, I'm not.
Wow, this is a lot of work.
Yeah, this is a lot of work. So Hillers actually has the most touchdowns scored in the league at 10.42%.
My bench is
good thing you included
fantastic.
bench on that. Yeah.
Good thing I included bench on that.
Second year in a row with a 50-point bench score. Doesn't happen most years. I got it twice now.
It's a shame we took that mini game away.
Yeah, that was my sole source of income.
Merrill, you're actually a close second at 10.12, and again, you have that huge game in Miami to kind of help inflate those numbers. And I mean, you got the point.
McCaffrey this week too. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys have the highest at 10, at 10.4, 10.1. I actually have the lowest percentage of touchdowns. I have 6.5% touchdowns.
so that's why Nick's sitting there on Sunday being like, I feel like there's not a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, I have 6.5% of the total touchdowns scored right now.
Let me investigate these touchdowns.
But that's interesting because jumping ahead a little bit, your team's doing pretty well considering you got the lowest amount of touchdowns. So it's like
it's all yards and receptions.
Progression to the mean.
Yeah, I would much rather
for longest 2.5 yard here in the next.
I would much rather be in a situation where I can only go up from here for getting touchdowns. So
who else is down there with you?
6.5. I have Wounded Ducks at 6.85.
Watson
at 6.55
with no points at all of any type.
Just skipped right over Watson, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess Watson and I are scored for lowest amount of touchdowns.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other fun thing is that Andy's team has 9 rushing touchdowns total as well, which is right there on the means, right there on the average, except for you, Merrill, who has 17. Andy has 9 rushing touchdowns, 7 of which are by his quarterbacks, 4 of which have come from Richardson. So
yeah, but he's not even starting Richardson.
I know. So
that's the crazy thing.
He'll be starting him now, I bet.
No, he won't. He's got the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football, Justin Herbert.
Maybe I'll go trade him some more. Maybe I'll find it.
You don't have anything left to trade.
Maybe I've got something I can dig in the barrel to hand
You've spent
Andy
all
again.
your money. All your trade money is gone.
Other fun thing is that TDJ is actually 8s across the board. He has 8 passing, 8 rushing, and 8 receiving touchdowns. So I just thought that was fun.
That is
interesting. Yeah, he's it's 8.
It's funny because that kind of ties in with fantasy football. Everyone, when you do your research preseason, everyone says, "Look, touchdowns aren't really predictable. They're kind of a lucky stat. They're not very sticky. A lot of if a guy has 18 one year, he probably will have he could have 6 the next year. It's like you want to go for touches and opportunities. That's kind of what you want to go for. But there is a lot of touchdown regression and progression to the mean. So that's an interesting stat. I think watch out a little bit for the 2.5 yards here, who are already doing pretty well to make a little push. I think the next few weeks.
Hopefully.
Although Watson's down there too, and I'm not really honestly looking out for him to make a push in the next few weeks. So
of the touchdowns, so of the 6 point of the so it's 18, 22, and Hillary he has 22. He has 22. So our distribution is Watson has 12 passing touchdowns, and I only have 4 passing touchdowns. And then the inverse of that is that he only has 6 receiving touchdowns, and I have 11 receiving touchdowns. So that's the other part there is when the certain touchdowns are going to weigh more than others as well. So
right, true. That's interesting. That's a good stat to track. I never thought about grabbing. That's a good one.
Yeah.
How long did that take you? Just ballpark.
It took me about an hour. It really didn't take me that. Like once I figured out what my it was the hardest part was figuring out what the algorithm was, what the algorithm, the formula I was going to use to figure this out.
Longer than we usually spend on this.
This is what we do for you people. Just keep that in mind. This is what we do. Well, mainly for you, Esther, because you're the only one who really watches these things. So, you're welcome for that. Be sure and thank your commissioner. Yeah. So, Real Deal or No Shapiro, I don't know that it's this week, right? I think
no. That's a mid-season.
One, right?
That's a mid-season thing. That's like a week 6.
So that'll be our next one. And then
what we can do is, it's not Real Deal No Shapiro, but we can do I think we're entering the second quarter now. It's time to see who's. It's not Real Deal No Shapiro, but who should be excited, who's kind of getting ready for a fire sale, who's
already
where are the pieces? What are the pieces looking like that we're going to go for? Where are the pieces going?
I'll do it more. I'll fire sale harder.
I'll light more fires. I'll do it.
You just watch me. There's stuff left to burn.
I'll backdraft this motherfucker.
Yep.
I'll burn it all down.
Yep. I'll leave it all in my wake. Just craters.
Yeah. Look. I think Watson, obviously, this ain't his year. It's not going to happen. I mean, it's
the worst team in the world.
It's yeah. And so, all right. So I was going to wait to do this later. So let me just do. I had a little hot take corner I was going to do.
Sure.
It's not a hot take. This is the worst team.
All right. Well, normal take corner, or obvious take corner.
Lukewarm take corner.
Can we do the Captain Obvious take corner?
We knew this was trouble when it walked in.
So I think the Assassins. This
team.
might be. This is going to be a historically bad season for them, and it may end up being the worst team we've ever seen, in this league. So let's just run through some notes here. Currently has 5 injured players on his team. Okay, which is a lot. That's what 30% of your team.
Pretty early to have 5 injured players.
The next note I have is he's starting 2 Denver wide receivers, which. Woof. I mean, is that ever unless I don't think Peyton Manning's throwing for Denver anymore, right? You don't want to do that. You're not starting Demaryius Thomas and Wes Welker, right?
They're gonna have to throw. I think that must be the
yeah.
I'm trying to think what must the philosophy be.
Yeah.
Well, Denver's gonna be throwing because they're probably gonna be down by about 30 points at the half.
One of those 5 injuries is one of those Denver receivers, I guess.
Yeah.
He has traded away Cooper Kupp and DeAndre Swift for Najee Harris and Quentin Johnston, which that's not going to age great, and that's one of those trades I'll never understand. His scores so far have been 79, 78, 96, 76, which leads to an average of 82.7 points. The next closest team to him is averaging 106.2 points. That's 24-point difference from him to the next team in the standings. Also, it's 66 points less than the number 1 team in points for. So,
wow.
Only 66?
What? Yeah, only 66. Yeah.
No, points for. He's got 330.
Average points for. I'm saying average. Points for.
Oh, average points for. Okay.
Oh, not total points for. That's
the total points for is almost 600.
I figured total points for is a little hard for people to wrap their mind around. I think average points for is a little better. This is weekly what this person's scoring.
Right.
Especially because he's consistently put up those numbers, so it's that's there's at least a sample size there to say that.
Yeah, and doubleheaders throw it off. So, but just to say, On an
They
average
don't throw
week.
that off. No,
No,
they
no,
don't throw that
total
off.
points. Total points for. They throw off.
no, doubleheaders don't count towards total points for. Actually, we
They
we
don't?
figured that out last year, or a couple years ago, or something. Yeah. No,
Oh,
they're not. They're
fuck
not
me.
part of that. Yeah, the second game doesn't count towards that.
Which is weird because points against probably do though, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
No one knows. It's impossible.
No one knows anything.
Yeah.
It's about. It's
Um,
unknowable.
Yeah. His all play, he has outscored 2 teams. He has 2 all play wins on the season.
But he played one
But
of them.
he managed to play against one of them and got a win somehow.
Two
So-
and 42.
There were 44 opportunities for him to win an all play game, and he won 2 of them.
Including one of his actual games.
Including one of his actual opponents.
What a lottery win.
So there is no reason he should have a win right now, but he
No.
does. And I think part of the reason is his, quote, stud players that he has are Jahmyr Gibbs, who he spent $49 on, who's averaging 9.7 points a game. And even though he was drafted in the first round of the NFL draft as basically a top 10 pick, the Lions are saying, that's cool, you can be David Montgomery's third down
Backup.
back.
Yeah.
Najee Harris, who he traded for, he gave up Cooper Kupp, I think, for Najee Harris.
Yep.
Who was averaging
Jalen Warren's bench.
who was averaging 7.1 points a game, and I'm pretty
Warm
sure
up back.
I could beat him in a foot race. And then T. Higgins, who is averaging 9.2 points a game on a Bengals offense that looks like one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I mean, he
at the
didn't.
moment.
I mean, we did. I mean, how were we supposed to know that?
The Bengals offense
I'm not
took out a
saying
lot
he
of.
should have known any of this stuff. I'm just saying this is where his team is right now.
Well,
and
he
these
should
are
have
the
known-
players he planned on depending on, and this is why
Yeah.
he is where he is.
as-
All that to say, I don't know what he could do about it at this point. What does he have that anybody
Yeah.
wants? There's
waivers are a
nothing.
wasteland. Spend
There's
all your
nothing.
waiver money on the next big injury. I
His
guess.
best 2 players are 2 quarterbacks, which nobody needs. Nobody needs quarterbacks, and nobody especially wants to trade for quarterbacks right now. So it's going to be a long year for the Assassins. Keep an eye on the all play historically. Let's just keep an eye on that all play win percentage.
Okay.
Anyway, back to the schedule. That was my hot take injection there, or my obvious take injection.
Okay.
Obvious take. What are those? that's the take. I mean, yeah. Where do you even go? Oh, bleak.
No, he traded away for nothing his best assets already.
Without,
Well,
I guess.
You know,
Go ahead.
don't hate on that. Sometimes that's good. A good idea, actually. Well,
How have those trades worked out for you, Hillers?
I'd be lying.
He's
if
won
I-
3 games since he did it.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers support my decision.
Before trades, 0
They
wins.
actually,
After
you know what?
trades, 3 wins.
Time out. I'm actually really glad you said that, Hillers. That I couldn't believe that's the perfect segue into what I was about to bring up.
Okay, go
Let me
for it.
see. I have another set of numbers here for you.
Oh boy.
I think
But
I
the
deleted
real
it.
answer to your question, there's some buyer's remorse, but I
Ah.
wasn't having fun with the season.
Here we go.
I had a lot of fun
It
trading
was
one
2
day.
weeks. I don't understand it.
You
Yeah, well,
gave up. So you made your trades, and you're trying to do what you're going to do, and that's fine. You need to shake things up, and that's fine. And you have won 3 games since then. So, I guess in hindsight, hey, you are, it looks like you should have done that.
no.
And
I
just so
gained
we can quantify this, for you.
I gained nothing at all.
And now you can take this with a grain of salt because you did trade for Jacobs, who you haven't been able to play yet. But the net sum of your totals have gained you 79 points in the last 2 weeks. The net points of the players you traded away would have given you 130 points.
Yeah.
So not only would you still have won with the
Right.
same players,
Yeah, there's a little buyer's remorse there, but
I don't have any buyer's remorse. I'm very happy for what you did. Thank you.
Yeah.
that's usually how it works when one person.
I mean, as
goes.
somebody who plays
shouldn't
you 2
have.
more times, I'm somewhat happy about it too. To me, I don't understand giving up on something after 2 weeks. If you had 2 bad weeks in weeks 8 and 9, for instance, right? It's just I just had 2 bad weeks. It's fine. But to just absolutely give up on an entire season and all the preseason research you may or may not have done,
No, I did
and-
some.
and just to be well, we're bagging it. Maybe next year. It's I can't imagine giving up that early.
I'll tell you what it was. I just didn't like them. I didn't like them, and I didn't like the choices that I was making. It wasn't mathematically smart. I just didn't like it, and I was like, you know what I do like? Trade talks. And then I did too many and made some bad choices. But whatever, I had
I
fun.
disagree. I think you did some great choices.
Nick likes them. I'm sure Andy's in favor. So there's 2 votes right there.
Yeah, I love you making other competitive teams better. Thank you for that.
Well, I'm in your division, so you're welcome, I guess.
Yeah.
Watch A-Chain come get you.
Yeah. It's Achan, by the way.
Yes, the hell it is.
Or Devin Akane, as one said at the draft.
Devon Akane.
Yeah.
It's like the reverse of the Key and Peele sketch with that guy. I have no idea what his name is, and I probably never will. But he's my best running back, and the 5th best in the league by points.
Yep.
Somehow.
And you have yet to start him.
Soon to be started. Watch
Oh
this
boy,
space.
here comes the
I mean,
crash.
I can't say anything. Like there are players, we all have players that like are on your bench or like you just haven't I haven't started
50-point
yet.
players?
Like
Do you know what it's like to have a 50-point player on your bench? Because I
don't, because I would start them
2 years in a row now. So
3 years.
So
really?
Speaking of which, let's look through. We're 4 weeks in. Let's look through some draft day. Just some review some draft day. Maybe some wins, some losses. See where we are with these.
yeah,
We've started with the Assassins. We already kind of covered those. Jameer Gibbs
And
$49.
David Montgomery's back up.
I guess when I put this together, I just want to kind of level set exactly what I was expecting on this is players that you think would they go for this in the draft? And it's like, would they go for this different by a lot?
Ooh,
like what would be the
That's a good thing we could all guess. Like if we had redrafted right now, what would this player go for? Right?
Yeah, and so I tried to pick some people from every team, and I think that I tried to make it like really ridiculous, like a huge discrepancy. Like some people would be pretty close, like Mike Evans. Mike Evans would still probably go for $30. Keenan Allen still about $30 in the draft, regardless.
Well,
so
Mike Evans didn't. We'll get to him, but yeah. All right, so Jameer Gibbs went for 49. If he went today, what are you guys thinking he'd go for? Like if the draft happened today?
Maybe a $20 player ish.
Yeah, 20, 25 probably.
I was gonna say high 20s.
On the other side, Assassins drafted Sutton for $4, and he looks like whatever it's worth, the best receiver in Denver.
That's a hell of a bargain for $4.
So maybe 15-ish, probably.
Yeah, 15-ish.
Yeah, not what you want to have as your wide receiver 1, but a good guy on your roster to have.
Slod, obviously the Nick Chubb injury hurt, but Slod has Jerome Ford for $4.
Yeah, so that's more the smartness to be able to pick him up for $4. And if you could go back and redo it now, knowing this, like how much did you spend on Jerome Ford?
$35, easy, maybe 40. I mean, Jerome Ford's the guy in Cleveland, and Cleveland looks like they want him to be the guy, right?
Well, as long as Chubb's out.
Chubb's out.
He's
Chubb's
out.
Knee,
He's out.
His lower leg separated from his upper leg. So,
Right. That's
Yeah,
it tends to hamper your ability to fight on when your leg is off.
You need 2 of those legs,
When your leg is off, it's hard to carry on through a football game. But 30s easily, maybe high 30s. Yeah.
The other thing is that I was going off the draft board, so I know some of these players have shifted hands, but it's still like at the idea of what they went for at the draft. So, like, Do you think at this point Jackson Smith and Jigba would still go for $20?
No,
I wouldn't pay that.
I mean, I didn't pay it at the draft, so
right. I wanted him, but I remember thinking like,
but I was like, but I wanted him as not as a this year player, right? Like as a maybe this year player, but like
an investment,
keeper. Right? Like 10 to 12, maybe, right?
Right.
I think it's Smith and Jigba is like a $7 to $10 player at this point if we redrafted.
Good job, Lar, for actually getting the handcuff of his number 1 running back. That doesn't happen all that often, and
it's not always smart, right? Like
it doesn't
rarely
always pan out.
It rarely pans out, honestly.
It's an insurance play, and it's not a common one. And he was one of the rare beneficiaries of it. And maybe to a keeper level at this point. Who knows what happens with Jerome Ford? So good.
It's not even so much that it's not a viable. It's that you don't like. Sometimes there are. Yeah, to this point, like it's not that you don't. The starting running back is a starting running back for a reason. Right, like the drop off between number 1 and 2, you don't know what that is, and quite frankly, I have no idea who Jerome Ford could walk right next to Taylor Swift with me right now, maybe, and I'd be like, I have no idea who these people are, like so to pick up like, oh hey, Jerome Ford's the guy. When they had
Taylor Swift walked into your house right now, honestly.
I'm just saying. I think Pierre Strong would have been the one that I probably would have gone with as my handcuff to him. So, good for him for knowing what the depth chart read and going with it.
Yep. The Dad Dicks, David Montgomery for $19. I mean, swap that with Jahmyr Gibbs basically at this point, right? Like David Montgomery's first game back, he had 32 carries this past game.
So
that's they were clearly just gonna just any play, it's fine. David Montgomery can move the ball, and the Lions' offense looks incredible. They said the other day that they hadn't won their division in 30 years, which is crazy when you consider there's only 4 teams, and they're one of them. But they look mad about it, and that whole offense looks like it's really gunning. And now that you have options, even the tight end, even the rookie tight end is looking like a thing to have.
Rookie tight ends that never work, right? There's been I heard a stat, I think there was 200 rookie tight ends drafted in the first however many rounds of the draft in the last 30 years, and only 3 or 4 of them have been fantasy relevant their rookie year. I mean, it's crazy how it never works out. And Sam Laporta looks legit.
He does.
Looks legit. Wounded Ducks, Calvin Ridley, who week 1 looked like this guy might be the number 1 receiver on the season. The only person they threw to was Calvin Ridley. And since then, it has been not good. Every week he's gotten worse, basically. Target-wise, opportunity-wise, catch-wise. It's not big.
I think the Jags aren't throwing the ball. They're throwing the ball.
Yeah. Christian Kirk all of a sudden is the guy you want there. So what does Calvin Ridley go for?
I think he still probably goes for
$12.
I think he probably still goes for $12. I need to look at what he's...
Here, let me tell you this first. Yeah. Targets by week. All right, week 1, 11, then 8, then 7, then 2.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We've heard the story Calvin Ridley is going to be 17, good before.
15.
We've heard it more than once, and it hasn't been true yet. And everyone figured this will be the year where it's true. This time, for sure, 4th time's the charm, where Calvin Ridley's the next big thing. And
I think I'd still prefer him over Kirk. Just because we kind of know what Kirk is, right? And there's some unknown there. So I think Ridley still gets to 20-ish.
Kirk's
a 15-ish player,
He's a solid wide receiver, too, but the league is full of those.
100, yeah, agreed. We know what Kirk is. Fine, no problem starting Kirk if you have to. But Ridley, you want Ridley. Ridley has the potential to be a league winner, right?
Not with 2 catches he doesn't.
No, not with 2 targets he doesn't. No.
2 targets.
Not going to happen, Chiefs. Is that Devonta Smith for 15?
It is.
It was kept, right, for 15?
He was, but he was kept on the draft day. He made a play for him on draft day. We had to pause the keepers just so they could potentially work that out. So I kind of threw that in there as he was going to get thrown back, and I just wanted to put something on.
Yeah.
I wish he'd been thrown back. That would have been nice.
I was ready. I had Devonta Smith.
I was ready to spend $30 on Devonta Smith. Actually, before that move, I was going to
Brown.
Well, no, I was going to throw AJ Brown back and spend 30 on Devonta Smith.
Yeah. Damn you, Larf, for giving Devonta Smith.
Wow. This is truly exhausting to be rooting for the anti-hero here when you realize that this happens.
And then Devonta Smith, 15. I mean, if we were to redraft right now, I think he still goes for around that. I don't think there's anything different there.
I don't know. I think that he's okay. I would have bid him up. I'd be in the 20s, definitely in the 20s.
Yeah, I feel like he doesn't make it for less than 20 with how he's done this season.
I think that he's better than.
Just takes 2 owners, and there's 2 right there. So
yeah.
Tyler Lockett. Lockett went for 24. Really?
Yeah.
So
Lockett believers are out there. Well,
it's not that I don't. It's not that I don't believe in Lockett. I could have kept him. I didn't want anything a part of that offense at this point. I didn't want to go into that offense with that.
I mean, he's someone who's been a top 15 receiver, top 20 receiver every year for the last 7 years or something. He just always produces. I think 24 is about. I think it's a little high. Maybe it goes 15 to 20.
I'm not paying anywhere close to that for Tyler Lockett.
Yeah. All right. Hitmen next. Mostert went for 6. Kept him for 6.
Hey,
you kept him. I thought you kept him.
Yeah, I had him for $1 and I kept him for 6. Yeah.
Value achieved. Value achieved. If he doesn't run again for the rest of the season,
yeah,
boy, you nailed
that. That was my thinking. I was like, well, You know, hey, why not? He's a flex, but maybe a third running back
Yeah,
kind of thing.
You are now in possession of the number 1 and number 2 running backs by points.
Kind of a bigger picture discussion, though.
Yeah, but
what do we think of Dolphins running backs in general? Like, how do we think that shakes out the rest of the year?
I mean, it's definitely.
It's crazy. It's a circus there. Who knows?
Not Mostert. It's not Mostert's. He's done.
It's not. I don't think it's going to be great when Jeff Wilson comes back.
Not done. Like he's going to have a role, but
because they started Wilson over Mostert last season. But at least my newsbreakers are saying Jeff Wilson is not quite ready to.
He might not come back this year. Yeah,
it's possible. Yeah. It's really just a question of like how much do they decide to feed A-Chain at his average of 80 yards of play.
He's averaging 11 yards a touch right now. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I agree. Achane is slowly like taking over that backfield, and I do think they don't want to run him into the ground though, right? I think they want to have like a 60-40, right? Something like that.
Yeah, he doesn't have that many carries.
But
the
they don't
only
have
problem for Mostert is that he keeps running it into the end zone every time he gets it, so Mostert doesn't get a chance.
That's Have you guys?
And then the other thing is Waddle's back now too, so it's one more mouth to feed. So that eats into the touches that are available, be it through Tyreek targets or
Hungry
handoff.
Have you guys seen the stats? It was a post I saw about the fastest recorded speeds in the NFL this year on the field. It was like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, and then Tyreek Hill again. And it was like all top 5 were Dolphins. I mean, it's just like they're playing Madden, dude. They're playing Madden football out there.
That's insane to be like, I'm getting only guys with 98 speed or above.
That's all it is. Pass it to the Italians, like in the Kicking and Screaming movie. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be like,
would you still spend $31 on Hopkins?
Ooh.
Probably not.
Tell us your regrets. Yeah.
I'm not giving up on him. Like, I think there's still potentially value there. We'll see. I don't know.
I think that knowing what you know now, based on that, the Tennessee seems to be doing what Tennessee does with veteran wide receivers, stud receivers, is that's where they go to die. I think that Hopkins is right back in the $15 range next year.
What other veteran stud receiver?
Julio Jones.
Oh God, Julio Jones was like
Julio Jones. Oh, okay, no, okay. AJ, think about
Jones had no legs.
Think about how good AJ Brown.
Think
about how good AJ Brown.
AJ Brown was like 22. You said veteran. Great.
Well, receivers. Yeah, they squatted. Think of how they squandered.
AJ Brown had a great year there. I mean, he had a great
year. And then in the first year that he was not in Tennessee, what did he do?
Had another great year. Yeah, look, I wasn't expecting. Here's what I would say. Keenan Allen went for the same price as DeAndre Hopkins.
And who would you rather have?
Oh my God! No, I mean, major regrets for not drafting Keenan Allen. I think we all have major regrets for not drafting.
I have huge regrets.
There's one owner in our league who traded Keenan Allen away when he had him for Christian Watson, and
Well, I mean, the guy's 31 years old. I can understand why you think, oh, maybe this year they start to move away from someone else. No, they're not.
Move to who?
Anything, anybody?
He's so
Mike, I don't have an ACL Williams.
He's so good.
I'm just saying, I can understand why you might think a 31-year-old man might start to fall off in a wide receiver position. But he's not. At all. If anything, he's getting better. He threw a pass, I think, last week.
Yeah, he threw a touchdown pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's the number 1 receiver right now, right?
He's zeroing in on LaDainian Tomlinson action.
If you look at if you kind of overlap or wrap around what he's done when he came back last season after his hamstring injury till now, he's been the number 1 receiver, and it's not close. I mean, it's ridiculous. I think better than Jefferson even.
Regrets.
Mixon, 40.
Yeah. I mean,
I think everyone, all the Bengals.
Value.
I think it's a Bengals thing right now. I don't think that's bad yet. Honestly, I'm not ready to call that a bad option yet. I think Mixon's looked okay.
What's with the Bengals though?
Burrow's hurt. He's clearly hurt.
Jamar Chase, number 2 wide receiver by preseason consensus, number 21 by points right now. Woof. Ugh, tough drop. But you can't really fault you for spending that on Mixon because that's
I
what he
think
goes
40
for.
for Mixon's probably right. I guess that's
the
probably still
Mixon
about right.
price.
It's probably a
That
little
is-
high, but I don't hate it that much.
Yeah,
Hillers,
but look what was out there. Nothing. There was nothing out
it's
there.
fine. Look again. Go back to the last podcast we had. I said my plan was to spend like $20 on two people, and one of those people I mentioned was Brian Robinson. Would I have rather done that? Yeah, spent whatever 18 on Robinson to get him, and then another whatever 15 to get. But the other 15 I would have spent on like JSN or something, right?
Well,
And,
you're doing fine.
yeah. So whatever.
Your team's doing well.
All right, Hillers. Well, obviously, what does Achan go for right now if he's in the draft? This is the question we need to.
Yeah.
He went for 3.
If Bijan went for 80, right?
How many Bijans is an
How
Achan?
many Bijans? At least half a Bijan, I would think.
Well, you got to think that you could revision his history.
Mike
people are
Pritchard.
willing.
Mike Pritchard's spending $60 at least on Devon Achan right now.
Well,
mean,
but how does he buy Bijan?
Right. This is in a non-Bijan world. I'm sorry.
Well, even in a Bijan world, like if right now you had the choice, looking back right now, like you could go back and redraft. Would you rather spend 80 on Bijan or 80 on Achan?
Well,
If you know you're spending $80 on one, you're spending 80 on one of those two players.
Bijan.
I think that's still up for grabs. I think I still lean Bijan at this point. Right? Like it's
under
2
that
weeks.
very specific construction of you have to spend, then it's still him because Miami, as you say, has a lot of mouths to feed, and people are going to start to adapt to the offense over time. You got to think, and Bijan's it's all his show.
Bijan's just the only mouth to feed in that offense, right?
Right,
That's it.
and they've got a great O-line, and they're inclined to run. Over the season, I think he's probably going to be outscoring.
But I do think Achan goes for 50 plus, maybe 60
Sure.
plus. If he's in the draft right now, whether I would spend that or not, I don't know. I don't think I would, but he would go for that much. There'd be 2 people who'd do that.
Well,
sure.
I'll tell you, it's given me solace.
Especially after
a little bit of solace in this dark season.
My concern with him is only his size. He's a very small running back, but he's looked legit. I mean, he's broken tackles. He's looked good getting into the end zone and the red zone. Like he doesn't look like a small player when he plays, but he is small. I don't know.
His strategy is to be so much faster than anyone that's going to tackle him that even if they can manage to get his ankle, it's like with 1 Newton of force. Yeah.
Who's Collins? Who's Collins at 9?
Nico.
Oh,
My boy Nico. Come on now.
Nico.
top
Hey,
10,
it's a
top
Nico.
10 wide receiver Nico.
It's a me, Nico.
It's a me. A number 7 wide receiver by points. Nico Collins.
Nico Collins goes for 25 plus, right? At this point?
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially with the Stroud, with everybody being like, whoa, Stroud's legit.
Whoa. What's with Houston? Why are they like this?
Has not thrown an interception yet in his first 4 games. Pretty incredible.
Yeah,
and
what the hell?
And they're chucking it.
It's like they've leached all the goodness of the offense out of the Bengals, like to the last drop, and applied it to whatever they had. And wow,
Let's go to Gazebo. Another Robinson, Brian Robinson, went for 13 actually. I mean, he goes for 30 plus now, right?
Yeah.
Gibson's on the waivers. The guy that went for 19,
and nobody wants him.
and no one's picking him up. I don't think. Yeah.
Nobody wants him. Yeah. Cole Kmet, $1. I don't know why he's on here. I don't know why anybody cares about Cole Kmet, but
That's about right.
You think so? I think
yeah, that's market value for Cole Kmet. He's the same as every other tight end. Every other tight end.
Yeah, he's like the 11th best tight end.
I guess I didn't. I think I was building off of what his name was.
It's Kelsey, it's Hawkinson, it's probably Mark Andrews, though he hasn't been great
Laporta.
until this week.
Laporta.
Okay, maybe Laporta working his way there, and then it's garbage. Just garbage. Everyone after that. They're all the same.
Okay.
They're all, call them John Smith, all of them. They're all the same.
Okay. Does the Dallas defense still? I mean, as big as they are, like I think it's not going to be as big of a jump, right? But like, I don't know when he said Dallas 3, there was a part of me that I was like, I mean, they're really good. Like, I'd go 4 for them. Like, they go for $5 maybe in the draft. Like,
they have how many points? They have 71 points. They are the 30th best player overall right now.
Crazy.
$5 anyway, right? Like
32, 14,
Six.
1, and 24 are their points this year.
You'd have to get over 10 before you outbid me on the Cowboys defense the way they've been playing so far this season. If we were doing the draft again this week, it's going to cost somebody more than $10 to get the Cowboys defense. Because
Yeah.
how do you argue get that with what they're putting up there? They're getting multiple touchdowns every week, and I know it's going to regress. But even still,
Right.
$10? Come on.
Yeah. They did just lose their top corner, which, we'll see how that goes.
and they haven't really played anyone tough yet.
Yeah. They play San Francisco this week. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, this is the litmus test for them. But no, I'd be like instead, like if you were right now, like even if it was just for the first 4 weeks, and you're like, okay, Dallas defense,
Let me ask you.
I'd pay more for less.
Well, here's a question. What would you trade for the Dallas defense? Hillers, let's look at Hillers here.
Come talk to me, Daria.
Would you
you'll
trade-
find out.
Would you trade Jordan Addison for the Dallas defense?
Yes.
There you go. Wow. Nick, would you trade
Probably not.
Jacoby Myers for the Dallas defense?
Would you do it?
Did you hear me? Jacoby Myers, Dallas defense? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening. Yeah, you know what? I think I would do that.
You know what? Your pause speaks volumes, honestly.
Yeah,
It's like-
I think I would because I have the wide receiver depth to fill that in. Like because I have enough wide receivers to I have enough Jacoby Myers on my team that I could just that's fine. Like if I could just trade one to get Dallas, yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Hey,
RJ,
I really like this game. We should organize a trade drop keep game for players
Yeah.
in future
we should.
podcasts.
Next week,
We can do that for the real deal and no appeal, maybe.
Yeah, trade drop keep. Yeah, it's like a fuck Mary
that's
kill.
anyway,
Kill.
that's like what people are thinking about Dallas. Like it's, I'll just say I'm not paying more than $1 for a defense ever. So, and I'm never trading for one. So I want to throw that out there in case you guys are wondering. I know everybody is, but yeah.
They are not.
Andy, the Wingay, our next team here. Anthony Richardson went for $6 in the draft. What quarterback is always interesting. What does he go for now? Because he's been fantasy wise fantastic. Even in the game when he went out in the second quarter, I think he had like 22 points before he went out or something.
15 is my number.
Yeah, I mean, he's a top 5 quarterback, right? He's got to be.
sure, yeah.
He's still a rookie quarterback, and it's not surprising to see a rookie quarterback. I mean, if anything, 6 is a little high for a rookie quarterback coming out of the draft. But now knowing what we've seen out of the first 4
CJ Stroud
weeks,
wouldn't have gone undrafted. Like,
yeah, seeing what we've seen out of the first 4 weeks, $15 is my number for Richardson. Yeah.
Aaron Jones went for 40.
Woof.
he's been injured though, so the question is
hurt.
actually he's been hurt, but also with the game that he got, like I threw this out there because like I know that he's been hurt, which you can't really predict. But the Green Bay, I wonder how much of the inefficiency of AJ Dillon is actually just Green Bay can't run the ball because AJ Dillon couldn't. They hadn't really been able to run the ball, and then Aaron Jones came back and they still couldn't run the ball. So,
And the one game Aaron Jones had that was great was against the Bears, who everyone runs for 700 yards against.
The Watson
Yeah,
of
so-
the NFL.
Like, I don't know. Maybe he's not good. I think he still goes for around that price though. If he's back in the draft, I don't think there's been enough data to change that.
probably. I mean, it was more a question. It was a good like kind of eyebrow raise because it's like
Yeah. I don't think
is it him or is it the
As-
team? Like at this point, like maybe it is the team. Like maybe the team just can't run the ball.
as a Packers fan watching the Packers, it makes me sad and it makes me feel like we got a ways to go. I don't think
Why?
they have the line and the wherewithal to get
Just chalk it up to Romeo
things
Dobbs.
going on all cylinders right now.
Oh, I disagree. I think
we
the
can have
Packers are.
A cylinder at a time.
I think
this
the
is where
Packers are one of the most interesting young teams in the NFL right now. They've got like
Yeah, promise
they
big
have
time.
so many players that are like in the same area of their careers. Like they have so many players in the first couple years of their careers, wide receivers, quarterback. Like
Yeah. 2
that's
years
a
from now,
fun. They have built that offense to be really good and to grow together, and I think it could be really cool. And it's already looks to be pretty good.
I'm glad we're in the post-Rodgers era. 2 years from now, I think I'm going to be feeling good. But to watch it right now, some of their games, I'm like, you can see that it's still not. It's not cooked.
Roscoe drafted Cousins for $1. Loser Cousins.
Loser.
That guy's.
I mean,
guy was the number 1 quarterback in fantasy, I think, through 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Had a bad week last week, but Kirk Cousins, man, no matter how much he loses in actual football, guy always puts up numbers in fantasy.
he does, no matter what. Like that's all that matters.
I tell you what, though. Does he go over 10? Because does anyone believe he's going to maintain top 5? No, no one does.
He still goes for $1. Like
you don't even know if he's going to have a job.
No, he absolutely still goes for $1 because Kirk Cousins can't go for more than $3 in a fantasy draft. He just can't, unless it's a 2-quarterback league.
You know, where sometimes numbers move performance moves so much. This is a guy that fantasy-wise performs, but still might be unemployed. And is probably not going to go for more than $10 in any draft.
Yeah. Somebody else Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson and J.K. Dobbins are kind of honorable mention here. Like, take out the fact that they might have been hurt. You know, that you don't know that they're the injuries are flukes. Like,
there was a lot of hope for that Steelers offense this year, and they look dreadful.
Yeah. Do you think that a healthy Deontay Johnson actually helps that team out?
It's the same as last year. It's the exact same thing as last year. Yeah. I mean, I think he helps, sure, but Pickett sucks. He's not it. He's not the guy.
I was a Pickett believer. I was wrong. He's bad.
Yeah, not it. He ain't the guy.
Obviously, like a year from now, if and when J.K. Dobbins' name gets announced next year at the draft, is that worth it? Like,
I've never been a Dobbins person. No,
I haven't either. But like, where do we think that he goes? Like
low teens,
$12. Whatever Andy wants to bid on him.
Right. $12.
Andy loves that guy. Yeah,
he does.
AJ Dillon went for 12 to you, Nick.
Yeah,
quite a value, I would say.
Undrafted. That's $12 too much.
Quite a value. What are you talking about? He's terrible.
Yeah, but for $12 for a running back where Jones is hurt, I mean, like,
and what has he done?
I would.
Yeah, but I mean, is it really that bad?
Yeah. He has 17 points on the season.
Oh my God. Okay, it's worse than I thought.
Yeah.
He's not 5, 7, 3, and 1.
Yeah, but.
Oh wait, wait. Let's go through his attempts. 13 attempts, 5 points. 15 attempts, 7 points. 11 attempts, 3 points. He's the anti-Achane.
This is what I tell you about the Packers. Like, what makes me worry? Because
he has 3 attempts, 11 points would be great.
He's the anti-Achane. He's the opposite.
Okay, yeah, it's bad.
He's terrible.
But
undrafted is right, Nick. Undrafted.
But undrafted.
$1 is too much for AJ Dillon.
Yeah.
Undrafted. No, I'd draft him for $1.
All right, you
I'd buy that. I'd buy that for $1.
And then we can pick him up on waivers in like week 7.
Well, so somebody has to be shifted out.
Jacoby Myers for $1. On the other hand, I think he goes for 15 plus.
Yeah, 50. I think 15's about the right.
He's kind of in that Christian Kirk range. I feel like now.
That wide receiver to land. Yeah.
Bijan Robinson. If we take Pritchard out of this, all right, we gotta remove the Pritchard factor.
If we take Pritchard out, then somebody paid $79 for Bijan.
Well, no, they wouldn't have, because they would have had to bid against somebody else who would have paid what? I think he goes for 65.
60, yeah.
He looks so good.
Yeah.
I mean, Bijan. You have to put
good.
Bijan out there. You have to put Bijan out there because it's Bijan.
And the thing is, like, he's putting up real solid numbers without even that many like rushing attempts. He's involved in the passing game as well.
He's the number 1 target in the passing game.
Yeah, you gotta love the receptions. It's just like gravy.
I mean, who else they got through to? Kyle Pitts? We know that's not happening.
Yeah, and I mean, he did face a couple of like weakish like run defenses and the thing, but especially given everyone that was kept, if we assume that in the redraft all the keepers are still kept, Yeah, still well in the 60s.
Yeah, 100%.
And actually, I'm sure if Pritchard could do it again, he'd only.
So I guess I mean,
78.
going back to the initial question, the question a couple of minutes ago. Well, I guess like half hour ago at this point. How do we speed this up? Achane or Bijan, like who's going to go for more? But like, how close is it? Like, is it 1A, 1B? Like, if Bijan goes for 65, how much does Achane go for then? 60 still?
HMB in the 50s, I think.
Okay.
At this point, yeah.
Just asking. All right.
A+ value.
Sam Laporta?
Mike Evans.
Sam Laporta is what? Oh, Evans. Yeah, Evans, I think we said, right? 30, probably, at this point. And he's still... Oh, wait, he's still Mike Evans. Forgot. Yeah, he's still good. He's still great. And Baker's chucking it to him whenever he can. So, yeah. He's going to get 1,000 yards. He's going to have, 10 touchdowns. That's Mike Evans. And then Sam Laporta, rookie tight end. Looks to be the dude.
I mean, the way they're looking at him and the way the Lions offense looks right now and how desolate the tight end is as a position, I got to think at least $20.
Yeah.
Wow.
25.
I was going to say 15. Wow. Okay. There you go.
I mean,
20 plus.
you're paying for that. You've got to pay if you want that position. You got to pay for it.
Hey, coming from a Kelsey owner, you know what it's like to have a great tight end. So I trust you on that one.
I mean, it's one of the few positions where if you really invest in just the one of 3 people that are any good, you can get week over week gains against an opponent reliably. So,
all right. Can I do another hot take injection before we get to power rankings?
One more.
Sure.
All right. Not going to happen, Chiefs. Have market corrected the dad dicks.
Meaning what?
So market correction, this is a term, I think it's Wesley Morris, who's a movie critic for The Ringer, I forget who he writes for.
You've seen Wolf of Wall Street, right? Think you know.
But like he talked about how actors market correct people all the time, right? And it's like, I'm trying to think where I had a list for this, but it's like Julia Roberts got market corrected, or Meg Ryan got market corrected by Julia Roberts, right? It's like Michael Cera got market corrected by Jesse Eisenberg, right? And it's like these people are like going along, and then all of a sudden, like somebody else kind of comes in and takes over the Eddie Murphy comedy, Mike Myers, like SNL comedy crew gets market corrected by the Will Ferrell, Vince Vaughn comedy group, who gets market corrected by the Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill comedy group, and it's like,
are you suggesting Eddie Murphy got market corrected by Mike Myers?
Well, Eddie Murphy got market corrected by not doing movies anymore, but
it's racist.
No, he was part of the. He was part of the same.
It's wrong on every level.
Well, he was part of the same era of comedy that Mike Myers was. Is what I'm saying.
I guess.
I think market. I hear what you're saying. I think market correcting sounds weird, but like it's more.
But that's what I mean. So, Not Gonna Happen Chiefs came in and just stole. And that's not the only. I think the Weenyay may have market corrected the Hitman also, by the way, in being like really good preseason and then just epic failures constantly. And I appreciate you for doing that, Weenyay, because we've had some pretty good years recently. It hasn't worked out, but Anyway, going back to the not me.
Watch out for that Royal Rumble title.
Would market correcting mean that person has to be the exact opposite of the other person to be able to balance it out?
No, they do their job better.
Right, they came in and did the job. Took over that market basically. Not Gonna Happen Chiefs came in, took over the Dad Dicks because now, I mean, just look, extremely average scores this year, but still 5-1. No injuries on the team at all. 0 injuries. Cooper Kupp is the only injury he had, and now he's coming back and
he took that on this week. He
just chose to take that because he's like, well, the rest of my team's healthy. I might as well just take someone who's hurt, I guess. And that goes back to last year too. The reason he won the title was pretty much because he had no injuries all year. I mean, that was a big part of why he won. He hasn't scored 130 points yet on the year, and he's 5-1, has the best record in the league. He has the worst all play in his division, and he's in first place in his division. So, yeah, I mean, I think we have a new Dad Dicks here. And I don't think we even know who the Dad Dicks are anymore. I don't know what to think of that team. They're they're just kind of, they're lost. They're trying to find themselves in the wilderness. And I don't know
It's a hero's journey.
Yeah, so sorry, Dad Dicks.
This is the adversity part of the hero's journey.
We hope you find a purpose out there. But the Not Gonna Happen Chiefs have taken over your role, and we will remember you, Dad Dicks, and your 2 or 3 championships. Who can say for sure? And
it's unknowable.
We look forward to hating the Not Gonna Happen Chiefs for all the reasons we hated you in the past.
Sure.
That's it.
And then some.
That's all I have.
Okay. power rankings and wrap this up. I feel like we've been at this a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
Mine are actually. So my power rankings are actually. I did my power rankings a little different. I have a different answer this week. So
all right. Well, then you go first.
Okay.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all my power rankings right now because that's just the way that mine play out. Is I have, and I'm going to do this actually in the reverse order than we do them. Is I have the Hitmen, then I have the longest 2.5 yards, then there's 50 feet of shit, then there's Watson. So.
Okay.
Thanks. Throwing fire.
Well, I mean,
no, I don't mean now. I'm excluding the movie there. Like, I just think that what I actually think is just between 3 and the team between 3 and 11 is just it's anyone's game at that point. That like I don't even know how to power rank those because everyone's so like, we're still trying to sort out that cream. We're still trying to sort that out. I have no idea how to. The person that I could say is the 11th best team could easily be the 3rd best team, and I just have no. They're all the same. I kind of feel like everyone's.
Okay.
That's how I think. I think that it's me. I think it's Hitmen, my team, everyone else, and then there's Watson.
Yeah.
Like by a lot. There's everyone else, then there's 50 feet of shit, and then there's Watson.
I think that's more appropriate. Yeah. We covered the 26 points of crap that are between Watson and the next team above him every week.
So
yeah,
we can go ahead and just. I will be the peanut gallery chiming in for you guys, but that's how I feel.
The 12th is a given. No one's not saying Watson's the worst. Watson is putting on a show for us to find out how worst can get, and we'll find out. Above that, I have the Ducks because of their inherent duckness.
God, you okay? All right.
They're bad, and I don't like them. And then CTR because I think I can beat him this week. So how about that, Roscoe? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Just barely over that is myself. My team's bad. No illusions there. Followed by the Dad Dicks, the Lost in the Wilderness Dad Dicks. And then
I think that's it for now.
Well, that's 1, 2.
He has one more.
Oh, one more.
5.
Yeah, one more. Sorry.
One more. Just outside the top 6. Slod. Rising in my opinion, but I still feel like I need a little bit more from Slod. So.
Yeah, I was talking to Larf about that, and we were talking on Sunday. I was like, "Don't give up." I'm like, "Look at the first place team in your division. They're terrible. It's terrible. Yeah. Like your division stinks. Anyone can win that thing."
I'm out here. So, I'm in an empty, dangerous looking room, and I'm asking, "Slod, are you there, Slod?"
Right, Slod's there.
Say if you are.
Slod's bucking his head a little bit. You better watch out.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll do Sass at 12 because reasons that we've spoken about. Hillers at 11 because you've given up on the season, and even though you won these last couple weeks, it's fraudulent.
I'm coming for you.
I have the Ducks at 10. Speaking of fraudulent, this is a team we didn't talk much about, but they were a soft 3-1 coming into week 4. Them and the Not Gonna Happen Chiefs were kind of the same. It's kind of the same story. Very soft 3-1s. And the Ducks are still kind of waiting to find their footing, I think. Cyborg Tony Romo, a lot due to injuries. Right above that at 9. The Dad Dicks at 8. And right next to the Dad Dicks, right above the Dad Dicks, the new Dad Dicks, the Not Gonna Happen Chiefs. I have right there, who are also somewhat fraudulent, but I think a little better than the other ones.
The Stepdad Dicks. They're
Stepdad Dicks. That's right. They're your new dad.
Your new Dad Dicks.
Jesus. Stepdad Dicks. That's a great name, by the way. All right, Hillers, go back to your.
Okay.
6.
Yeah. All right. 6-1.
If your name isn't changed to the Stepdad Dicks by tomorrow, then you're doing it wrong, Esther.
Not Gonna Happen Chiefs, aka the Stepdad Dicks at 6. Gazebo at 5. Touchdown Jesus at 4. Winye at 3. Longest 2.5 yards, and then Hitman.
Can we? All right. So I had Not Gonna Happen Chiefs at. Oh no, I already had them. Sorry, Slod at 6. I had. Then I had Touchdown Jesus at 5. Let's just talk about how far Touchdown Jesus has moved up in our rankings. By the way, it was I think unanimously our worst team this season.
And they're getting Jonathan Taylor back, presumably.
And he's about to get Jonathan Taylor back, potentially. So, yeah, watch out. Gazebo at 4. Another solid all play. Record doesn't reflect it. What else is new? Longest 2.5 yards I have at 3. I have Andy at 2. Andy's team is terrifying. I'm not sure how close you guys have looked at it, but it is very, very good. And I think because the problem is me and Andy, neither one of us can win anything, so I don't know what that means for league. I've got Hitman at 1.
Well, that's not true. He wins the Royal Rumble.
Right. Well, he wins that, I guess. So
And he wins best draft.
and he wins best draft. So anyway, Winiez at 2, Hitman at 1. So I guess Nick, although you can't win either, just like me. So I don't know what that means. We got 3 teams at the top who are perennially just can't
TDJ, I'll come over.
can't get it done. So yeah, TDJ will get his 3rd, or Gazebo will get her 4th, or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, you might be thinking that one of you has to win, but that's not true.
That's not true. No, I'm not thinking that at all. Trust me.
Yeah,
All right, are we done? That it?
yeah.
Sounds good.
Let's catch
All right,
this.
let's
Out.
shut it down. All
We
right.
recorded, right?
Oh yeah, we did.
Let's shake this one off.
All right, for Nick, for Hillers, for the stepdad dicks. This is Merrill.
Good job, Ellis.
Saying, talk to you guys later.